primer is on. I have not sanded it yet. It's got just a slight texture to it still. So we still need to sand it. That's where I had it stuck. I don't know what I'm going to do about handling that as far as color. But actually I really don't think I'm going to have the hood on it. I think the hood's going to be on the sawhorses and probably partially covered up, which leads me to what I'm getting ready to do. And you're going to go, what the heck? All right, trust me. So I have here Glad cling wrap, and I am going to wrap this body with it in preparation for making some tarps. All right. So, because I don't want to get anything on the body yet that's not going to be on there permanently at this point. So I want to protect it. All right. Okay. So the body is wrapped. And what we're going to do is create a tarp with some tissues, all right? You could do this with paper towel, like kitchen paper towel. However, that usually has like a quilting, or there's a fabric texture to it, and it will show up in the end. And some of them even have the colored printed edges to them. So what we're going to use is just regular tissue. I'll forego the brand name, but you can probably figure it out. And you can see around the edges of this, it does have a design, but we're not going to use that much of it. So what I'm going to end up doing is, with a pair of scissors, I will measure out roughly a scale, 8x12, 8x10, and we'll cut it with scissors. I've tried to do it before with the tissue on my cutting mat, and then a ruler and a sharp X-Acto. The X-Acto blade, for whatever reason, wants to snag and pull, even if it's a brand new sharp blade. So I found that scissors actually works better. All right, but then once we get that cut, what I have next, and this is old, I'll have to probably make some more. Anyway, this is a mix of Elmer's white glue and water, roughly 50-50, and some blue acrylic craft paint, which is, roughly the color of a blue tarp you'd get at one of the big box stores. So let me get that prepared, and I'll be right back. All right, my blue glue is mixed. The body is wrapped. My spoiler came loose as I was wrapping it. I didn't realize it, but that's not going to be a huge deal. I stuck it on there and used some blue tape on the backside to hopefully hold the pin, but it didn't work. I don't want it on there permanently yet, not till after we get the body color painted. But the driver's side is what's going to be exposed, and our tarps are going to go over it, mostly really covering all of the passenger side for the most part, and then, partially through the top. All right, I've cut 2 tissues to roughly a scale 8x10 size. And I did this once before with my my pickup truck, the Dodge D100. And what I learned was that the tissue is very delicate and it wanted to ball up. And I had a hard time trying to lay it out flat like I wanted to do. So what it ended up as is kind of a blob in the back of the truck in the bed. So what I'm going to try to do this time, my pool of goo is not as deep. So that's a change from before. It was about twice as deep as it is in this bowl now. And I'm going to grab corners of the tissue and just kind of maybe drag it through and then hold it up to let it run off a little bit. And speaking of, I better lay down some paper towel on the workbench here to make sure I don't get stuff everywhere. All right, so let's get that there. Here's our goo, the blue goo. Okay, let's give it a shot. All right, got my tissue. And I think now that this end is covered, oh boy, see, there we go. All right, well, so I got the corners a little bit rolled on it, but that's actually going to work for us. All right, I tore that one already. Okay, now, so what's going to happen is this will dry stiff, solid, and we'll be able to then later lay it into position on the finished car. And it won't necessarily need to be stuck to the car. It can just be sitting there and it will look like it's attached, right? That's at least part of the plan anyhow. You know, I don't know. Maybe that one tarp might really be all that I need. Well, let's see. I think I'm going to run one more around the front quarter panel there. All right, this worked. Let it run off a little bit. That back edge is folded over on itself, so it's a little double thick, but again, not a problem for what we're trying to do. Try to get most of this excess off of there. All right. Let's do this. And we'll just kind of tuck it around in a fashion that would be typical. All right, this end, I might need to let this hang out just a little because we don't have our front end on yet. Okay, I think that's going to be perfect. And the color, now it is blue. It will dry lighter than that. So what I can do once it is dry is I can airbrush it with a darker blue to get the tone and color that I want. But the advantage is you can get some variation in that color now so that it looks like it's an old tarp, you know, it's worn. These creases, see how it's darker there and it's lighter in the middle? That's actually pretty prototypical of the real thing, right? When they age and wear, they get a little faded in areas. So, yeah. Most of the day has passed now, so it's been sitting up here drying for, I don't know, probably a good 5 or 6 hours now. Let's peel it away. All right, now you can see it's got the shape of our car. So later, when we get closer to composing our scene, we can add this back onto it, and it takes the shape of the vehicle. And you know, we may have to add a little bit of maybe white glue somewhere to suck it down a little closer in places. We'll see when we get to that point. But there you have your tarp, and we'll keep that stored in a safe area till we're ready for it. But it'll also get painted, airbrushed, because we need to even out this color some. But simple, really simple. Nothing to it. All right, I hope you guys like that. Give it a try. It's really easy to do. Little messy, can be very messy if you're not careful, but it's so simple, and I don't think anybody would have any trouble trying to pull this off. So, all right, give it a thumbs up. Y'all have a good week. Peace and love.